Yesterday is history.
Today is
reality.
Tomorrow is
Tomorrow is a dream.
Tomorrow.
Yesterday is
Yesterday is
Today is
history.
reality. Tomorrow
Today
is
is a reality.
Yesterday is history.
Yesterday is history.
Today
is reality.
reality. Tomorrow is a dream.
Yesterday is history. Today is a reality. Tomorrow is a dream.
I was told to come into work Sunday at New Orleans Emergency Operator Station and not to expect to go home for a couple of days. Although the winds and rain were fearsome, I didn't expect not to have a home to go to.
I was lonely and a misunderstood Ukrainian. I was electrocuted to change my way, and eventually I discovered painting through therapy.
I was in college as an upcoming writer for Story magazine. It felt sudden. But I was drafted into the war and would not expect to spend the next 11 months fighting for my life.
I was Henry until the day they tried to tell me I was 177153. From then on, I became a person who lived for tomorrow. I strived to always be positive. When the
I would have to say Hemingway's overestimation of sheer physical courage, commonly called as guts, as a virtue.
When the papers came telling me that I had to go, my family tried their hardest to smuggle me to Spain. But I was captured at a market in France.
I've always been lonely and misunderstood. After being born, my dad died, so I never really had one. Then I was captured by the Soviet Union and forced into internment camps. And when I managed to escape, I moved to America, and I fell in love.
I would have to say Hemingway's overestimation of sheer physical courage, commonly called as guts, as a virtue in his characters is just blasphemy. Probably because I'm short on it myself.
I had been director of New Orleans EMS for less than a year when the storm hit. I was supposed to be able to fix things, to help people.
After being born, my dad died, so I never really had one. Then I was captured by the Soviet Union and forced into internment camps. Then, when I managed to escape, I moved to America and I fell in love.
When the Germans surrendered on May 8th, 1945, you could hear the world scream out with celebration.
Yeah! Hey!
To help people. That was why I was brought in. So I cannot even begin to express the frustration of answering calls for help while knowing that there was nothing I could do.
It was at that point that I knew my mindset was the only thing that was going to keep me alive. 298. That's the number I will never forget, along with the one on my arm. I was number 298 out of 300 men selected. The rest went on to Auschwitz to be killed.
But I spent the day alone, just sitting in my bed, breathing honestly hazed over. I turned my gaze and started staring at a .45 caliber pistol that was sitting still clutched in my hand from the night before. I said to myself, what would this all be like if this .45 caliber pistol were to pierce straight through my head?
What I saw and what I endured was indescribable. I saw my friend hang for wearing a telephone wire as a belt, being forced to stand for hours before being killed. At one point, I almost gave up.
I was happy, and finally everything in my life seemed to come together. We moved to Syracuse and found jobs. My beautiful wife was pregnant with our son, until it all fell apart.
Being sheltered in the Superdome was far from ideal. And I wish every day that there could have been a more effective plan, but there were just no other options. To sit there and tell a mother that you can't send someone to help her baby, or to have to tell an elderly woman that there is no realistic way you can reach her with replacement oxygen tanks. Those are the conversations you don't forget.
My wife and I had a miscarriage, and she died shortly after that. I was alone once again.
Weighing just 70 pounds on the day I was liberated, I will celebrate it forever as one of my birthdays. I may never be able to forgive, but I am never consumed with hate. Hate does not improve anything.
That virtuosity I hated so much came into my head. Damn. Did I hate the thought of being a Hemingway character? But somehow, that pulled me through.
However, I am able to say that I lived for tomorrow.
When we finally got out of the dome, when we got to help people, that was when things became real. Some people were so thankful. Others were dead. We had to pull a man from his bed because he refused to leave the body of his dead wife.
From this moment on, I knew I needed help.
I needed something, anything, anyone to fill this deep hole that I had. That's when I realized I was destined to marry Margaret Truman.
I decided to check myself in at a hospital nearby in Newmanburg. I had relied on the hopes and passions of others like my good friend Hemingway, and he began to pull me down.
They misunderstood me and put me in the Syracuse Psychiatric Hospital. I wasn't getting better, so they sent me to the Willard Asylum. The attempts to hurt people out of frustration and anger never added up to them.
I wrote to him. The talks I had with you here were the only hopeful minutes of the whole business.
Those are the stories. The real people who lost everything to the storm. I may have to live every day with the crushing weight of the fact that I couldn't help them, but at least I get to live.
People complain about the little things. It's too hot outside, it's too cold outside. But life is beautiful.
It was true. Hemingway saved my life. I poured my passions and finished shaping Holden Caldwell into a man that defied society and stood up for what he fully believed in. So I wrote, "It's funny. Don't ever tell anybody anything. If you do, you start missing everybody."
I have to live. For those who couldn't.
Before and after the Holocaust, my mindset will remain the same. I lived for tomorrow. I was always positive. Positivity. It's the key to getting through.
They couldn't understand me and thought I was just rambling and getting worse. And they sent me into electroshock therapy. And that's when I discovered painting. That was the key. Day by day, I began painting the story of my life.
Yesterday
is
is
history that we have to learn
history
from.
We have to learn from.
Today's the
Today is the
reality.
Today is the reality
Tomorrow
we have
is
to
a
live
dream
in.
we can only hope for.
is a dream.
Tomorrow is a dream we can only hope
Can only hope for.
We can only
Can only hope.
Can only hope for.
Yesterday is history.
Today is the reality.
The reality we have to live in.
And tomorrow is a dream we can only hope for.